There was a time when the name White Motor Company carried more weight than chrome on a custom rig. This wasn't some fly-by-night operation or a regional player scrapping for contracts. White was an empire. At its peak, it controlled more heavy-duty truck brands than any other company in America. White, Autocar, Diamond T, Rio, Freightliner. These weren't just names on a balance sheet. They were legends, each with their own history, their own loyal following, their own piece of the American highway. For decades, White Motor Company stood as a giant in the trucking world, a family-built powerhouse that grew from building sewing machines in Cleveland to dominating the nation's freight lanes. But empires don't fall by accident. They're taken down, piece by piece, decision by decision, betrayal by betrayal. And the downfall of White Motor Company is one of the dirtiest, most ruthless stories in American industrial history. Because when General Motors wanted White gone, they didn't just compete, they destroyed. This is the story of ambition, greed, corporate warfare, and how one of America's greatest trucking empires was systematically dismantled by the most powerful company on earth. Let's wind the clock back to 1900, when Thomas H. White and his sons were building sewing machines in Cleveland, Ohio. They were craftsmen, engineers who believed in precision and quality. But Thomas had vision. He could see the future rumbling down dirt roads in the form of steam-powered vehicles. So the Whites pivoted, started building steam cars, and by 1910, they'd transitioned to gasoline-powered automobiles. But it was their move into trucks that changed everything. In 1918, White introduced heavy-duty commercial trucks built with the same obsessive attention to detail they'd applied to sewing machines. These weren't glamorous, they were workhorses, designed for haulers who needed reliability over flash, and they caught on fast. By the 1920s, White trucks were moving goods across America, from the lumber mills of the Pacific Northwest to the factories of the industrial Midwest. Drivers trusted them, fleet operators swore by them, and the White family, they kept their word. Every truck that left Cleveland was built to last, built to work, built to endure. That reputation became their foundation, and they built an empire on it. The real expansion came after World War II. America was booming, highways were being paved, freight was exploding, and trucking companies needed equipment, lots of it. White saw the opportunity and made a series of bold moves that would reshape the industry. In 1951, they acquired Sterling, giving them a foothold in the West Coast market. Then, in 1953, they bought Autocar, one of the oldest and most respected names in American trucking, a company that had been building trucks since 1899. Autocar wasn't just a brand, it was an institution known for rugged construction vehicles and custom-built heavy haulers. Then came the big one. In 1958, White acquired Diamond T and Rio, two more legendary names with deep roots in American trucking culture. Suddenly, White Motor Company wasn't just a manufacturer. They were a conglomerate, a family of brands under one roof, each serving different markets, different customers, different needs. It was brilliant strategy. White could now offer everything from light delivery trucks to massive highway tractors to specialized construction equipment. They had the market covered from every angle. But here's where things get interesting, and where General Motors enters the picture like a shadow creeping across the yard. GM had dominated the car market for decades, but in trucks, especially heavy-duty trucks, they were struggling. Today, most people under 40 have never heard of White Motor Company. Not just that White Motor Company fell, but that we let it happen. We let corporate greed dismantle American manufacturing piece by piece. We let giants crush the competition not through innovation, but through ruthless, predatory business practices. We traded craftsmanship and legacy for quarterly profits and shareholder value. And now we wonder why nothing's built to last anymore, why loyalty is dead, why the pride that once defined American industry has been replaced by logos and marketing campaigns. The downfall of White Motor Company isn't just a business story. It's a cautionary tale about what we've lost and what we'll never get back. Because when you destroy an empire, you don't just eliminate a competitor. You erase the people, the knowledge, the culture that made it great. And once that's gone, it's gone forever. The highways roll on, but they're a little emptier now, a little less American, haunted by the ghosts of trucks that used to mean something.